Got an interest in science? Want to learn more about the many possible career paths? One of the best ways to learn if a job is for you is to talk to people that are already working in that field. We've taken the most common questions posed by students and asked them to a panel of science professionals. Now let's meet our panel.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bardos. I'm a pharmacist. My job here at Lilly is to monitor the safety of the drugs here at Lilly.
Hi, my name is Megan Jones. I'm an epidemiologist here at Eli Lilly, and I work in the pharmacoepidemiology group, and I also monitor the safety of medications here at Lilly.
Hi, I'm Elcira Villarreal. I'm a molecular virologist by training, and at the present time, I'm a manager in the global scientific communications area.
Hi, I'm Ken Hornbuckle. I'm an epidemiologist. I'm the manager of the pharmacoepidemiology group, which is within the Drug Safety Organization at Lilly.
So hi, I'm Catalina Lopez. I am a medical doctor with a PhD degree in genetics, and I work in genetic research at Lilly, understanding how our genetic background influences the way we respond to different drugs.
Hi, my name is Beverly Hines. I'm a trained molecular virologist, and my job here at Lilly is to help run the early drug discovery program, looking for novel molecules that target receptors of interest.
Hi, I'm Joanne Hoskins, and I'm a molecular biologist, and I study DNA and genes and how they affect us in a disease state.
So for the first question, what got you interested in science?
I actually got interested in science through late junior high and high school, where I actually participated in a number of summer activities or internships at the local universities, participating in various activities such as working in a laboratory, working on various scientific projects with professors at the local university who had an interest in teenage children who are interested in learning more about science.
How did you actually choose your career, your career path?
I went in for a degree in biology, my bachelor's in biology, and during that course I took a course in microbiology. Half of it was bacteria and the second half of the course was virology, and that's when I fell in love with viruses. And it was interesting to me that something that you cannot see with the naked eye can be so sophisticated and can kill you. And that spawned my interest into virology.
Very good. Megan, one of the questions that we frequently get from the students is, where could I actually work? What companies or industries hire someone with your skill?
Well, as an epidemiologist, there are many career paths that one can take. As you see here, you can work in industry, in the pharmaceutical industry. There's a number of companies that would hire epidemiologists to do various things. Pharmacoepidemiology and drug safety, which is what I do here. Also, health outcomes is a big hiring entity within the pharmaceutical companies. Another place that you could be an epidemiologist is definitely in the government or in your local government. Your local county health departments or state health departments, or even at a federal level at the Centers for Disease Control or other places like that. There are many options being an epidemiologist.
All right, here's a question that I know many people are interested in. What is a typical day like for a scientist?
I do lots of different experiments. On any given day, I may be doing 5 or 6 different experiments. When I finish for the day, and the next day driving in, I'm always excited to know what the results of those experiments will be. And until I see my gel or see something that I've set up from the previous day, I really don't know what I'm going to do that day. I have to look for the results, interpret the results, and then decide what experiment to do next. And I find that variety and that excitement of looking to see the results it makes me want to come to work every day.
Next question, what education or training do I need?
Depending on the level of work that you want to do, the level of education will vary. If you want to work, for example, as a technician in a lab, a bachelor's degree, preferably a master's degree in science, would be very acceptable. If you want to have your own lab where you call the shots and you're directing the work and the research, then it is very important to have a PhD or an MD, PhD combination.
All right, our next question. What do you think is the biggest misperception about a career in science?
Well, I think at least my perception of science when I started was that I will spend 100% of my time in the lab. And that's not completely true. You do experiments, and this is a very exciting component of science, but it's not the only component. There's also all the interdisciplinary work, your interactions with colleagues is not really a lonely job. Sometimes you have to work alone in your experiments, but you have to be able to work as a team and collaborate with colleagues to be able to get your results and advance your science.
I'd like to add to Catalina's comments. I think the most common misperception when I talk with students, they think a degree in science is just too hard for them. And I always remind them that you take it one course at a time. It's not like that first year you have to take chemistry and all of this hard stuff. You just start one course at a time, learn that piece, and then move to the next. And as you go through your classes, you'll see they're not really that hard. You just need to have that basic understanding behind it to do well. And once you have that background, then you have a lot of options available to you. So if you take your basic science classes, as you become more knowledgeable about what options you might want to pursue, then you're able to do that because you've had the background and you can move into those different fields very easily.
I would just like to add that one of the common misconceptions of epidemiology is that it's the study of skin. A lot of times if you mention that you're an epidemiologist, people say, oh, you're a skin doctor, and that's not correct. Epidemiology is the study of diseases in a population.
Are there internships in your field that you can take?
There are many internships being in pharmacy school. The last year in pharmacy school, the entire year you have monthly internships where you can work in a pharmacy, hospital, many internships here at Lilly. I, for example, did one here for a month in safety where I work now. There's also many opportunities in pharmacies such as long-term care, also in insurance. There's many opportunities for internships in your last year as well as after the pharmacy school.
And I think that applies to any area of biology. Lilly has a fabulous intern program along with other companies, and even government institutions have these types of internships. When you're in your second or third year of college, then you can apply for those internships.
And also, there's a chance too, while you're in high school, if you want to look into maybe a medical field or something, you can go to your local hospitals or even your local health departments and find out if they need someone to volunteer a few days a week for the summer or something like that. I actually candy striped when I was in early high school, I believe a freshman, and it really opened my eyes to what happened in a hospital setting and whether or not I wanted to pursue that career path.
What courses should I be taking now while I'm in middle school or high school?
I don't think you can emphasize enough the fundamentals, how important it is to have a really solid feel for basic chemistry and basic biology and basic math, because things build on that. And the really exciting biology or chemistry that you end up doing when you're at a more advanced level is firmly rooted in those early classes that you've taken. So it is really important to build that foundation and then to keep that understanding going as you move forward.
Absolutely. I would also agree that just taking those basic courses then helps you understand if you really do have that interest. And so you can continue to pursue the interest with more advanced classes as you go.
I'd like to add to that. It's not just the basics as well. I remember taking the basics in high school, but I also took it a step further and took some extra science courses such as zoology, plant life, even about earth science. So those are the extra courses that you can take to see what other fields of science that you might be interested in.
What is the future of this career or a career in science?
I think there's a tremendous future in the area of science. There are less and less people going into PhD programs right now. In the U.S., very soon is going to have a crisis in the number of PhD students that they have or professionals that they have. And if you take each of the different areas, like Dr. Hines was mentioning earlier, that things are moving so fast that you need people coming in constantly to refill those areas where people retire. You need always more people coming into the areas. And actually, for example, take virology, which is my area of expertise and Dr. Hines' area of expertise. And there's always a new virus that is being discovered, so there'll always be work, at least in the area of virology. But I think that is true for every other area in science, too.
I agree with that. I think the future is exciting for science. Take, for example, medications. There's always something to improve in patient care. There's always new diseases. There's also current diseases that we're trying to improve better medications to help people. So I think there's always a future in science. There's always something changing, something we can better improve, or something that we can, find a cure for.
I'd like to answer that question as well. When I graduated in 1983, I only took one class in molecular biology because that's all that existed, because that's all they knew. By 1990, you could get a degree in the field of molecular biology. But as I was working in that field already, I had to learn as I was going, and I really enjoyed that. The whole area was completely new to everyone. So while I had prepared to be a microbiologist, I was now becoming a molecular biologist. And then by the year 2000, all kinds of new techniques had come along, and we were again changing the way we did things. Experiments we could never have done before, we could now do because we had new techniques and new understanding. So once again, I was able to basically completely start a new career in my same lab and be able to explore a whole new area of science that I didn't even know about. And that is very exciting again as you continue in a job for, now I've been here 25 years. It's a lot of fun to always be able to learn new things and to think about things in completely different ways and new ways to help people.
I agree. There are opportunities are endless. I actually have a bachelor's degree in environmental science, and I just wanted the students to know that a scientist doesn't necessarily mean that you're in front of a computer or you're in a lab. There are many places to be a scientist, and you could be a scientist out, in the forest or out looking at different impacts. Doing water samples. You can go out in the field and collect your samples and then bring them back into the lab. So I think this kind of hinges on a few questions that we've been asked, is that, your day can be very exciting and it can have many different elements to it. And I think that's important to realize. It's not just, you're in an office or you're in a lab. There are many opportunities, and when you look at which career you want in science, you should try to talk to people in the field as well in your area and maybe get a better understanding of what opportunities you could have locally or even globally.
Well, that brings up my next question. How much traveling do you do?
And thank you for bringing that up, is traveling. You always get to attend scientific meetings in very exotic places, and it really is a lot of fun. I think that's one of the nice perks of our scientific jobs.
Yeah, just to add, there are numerous opportunities for traveling, attending various scientific conferences, particularly public health conferences that are international as well as spread across the nation. So there's great opportunity in travel. I guess in the role of safety that I am involved in, there's not a whole lot of travel to do the day-to-day work because we are a global company, and we actually have colleagues all around the globe that also support drug safety worldwide.
What do you like most about your job?
What do I like most about my job? I think what I like most about my job currently is that every day there's something different. As I said before, I work in drug safety, and we have a lot of interesting things that happen each day throughout the week. So you may come in thinking that you're going to do one thing one day, and then a phone call or someone at your office can change that. And I like that. It makes things exciting. It gives us some variation to what we do. And also I know that I'm helping people and I'm helping public health, and that's something that I've wanted to do my whole life. So each and every day that makes me happy that I'm doing that.
What do you like least about your job? Can we say paperwork? There's always paperwork, isn't there, for all of these jobs, and that's one of the things.
And dealing a little bit with the bureaucracy, which is everywhere, in government jobs, in company jobs, in industrial jobs, and that's part of, but the the fun part is so big that I think it overrides dealing with the bureaucracy on occasion. Yeah.
As we look at our jobs, more focusing in the scientific realm, we normally spend about 75% of our time focusing on the scientific, the methodology, the analytics as well. But then the other 25% are more administrative, attending meetings, and all of that as well too.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I have gone through my list of questions. I guess having all of you in the room, we have a variety of people with a variety of different degrees, and you have all worked in the field now for several years. Would you say, looking back, that you made the right choice in going into a career in science, and have you been fulfilled in your career choice?
Definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so as you've listened to our panel today talk about a variety of things, from how they chose their career to what interested them first in science, what types of classes that they had to choose to pursue their career, and then just the different types of skills they need and what they do each day. If these things are of interest to you, then a career in science may be as well. And so we hope that you consider a career in science for your future. And thank you very much for joining us today.